Hey buds. So I've been thinking a lot about the female gaze recently, and what really got me thinking about it is Charli XCX's new video for her song Boys. If you haven't seen it, you should definitely watch it. It's like a rose-tinted, soft-focused series of clips of guys frolicking, I think is the best word for it. It is soft and gentle, and I love it. What it really strongly brought to my mind was that One Direction photo shoot where they're all wearing like knitted jumpers and holding puppies. When I looked that up, I gasped not once but twice. First on, just getting to see it again after so long, and then again when I realised that was 5 years ago. What really unites these images in my mind is how they all look like they should be in Lisa Simpson's Non-Threatening Boys magazine, which I know in the show is not an endorsement of that framing, but I think that there's something to be said for non-threatening depictions of guys. I think that we usually frame men through a very specific macho version of manhood. I've studied men's health a little for uni, and what you find is that so much of the culture around men's health tells them to be aggressive, to eat a lot of meat, and to have a lot of anger. That's obviously bad for men in a very active way, like men die younger, men have higher instances of substance abuse, men are involved in more physical altercations, men have more instances of heart disease. It's also really bad for the women who get hurt along the way. And I think that will continue to happen as long as we have a media that glorifies this boy with so many harsh lines who has so many cruel things to say, and to you even though he supposedly loves you. An opportunity to have a crush on a boy wearing a soft pink jumper, cradling a teddy bear or a golden retriever, a welcome and healthy relief. In fact, something I really love about Charli's video is that there are a lot of men of colour in it who are getting to be portrayed as gentle and non-threatening, which is not something that the media frames, especially black or Islamic men, as very often. There's a quiet sort of power in portrayal like that. Something being pink-coated doesn't make it frivolous any more than men's yogurt being in a black pot makes it any more serious. It comes back to that classic difference between Hugh Jackman on a men's magazine and Hugh Jackman on a women's magazine. Like, do women really love a bad boy, or are we all guilty of policing and punishing sensitive and vulnerable men? Do we tend to only award status to a very specific image of macho, bad boy masculinity? Do we call boy bands that are marketed towards young girls tacky and gay and in poor taste? As someone who is a little bit of all those things, maybe I take it too personally. And sure, boy bands are not paragons of virtue. They want to take little girls' money. But since everything takes our money in this society, why not let it be something that is specially designed to make young women feel safe? Something offered to be a little more softer and gentle. When the female gaze is depicting women, I think you can really tell, because for starters it's not those like cut-off shots of arched glossy bodies that I find particularly jarring in the cinema. Whole shots of women, and shots of women dancing that are intended to be genuine and carefree and fun before just sexy. Women dancing with other women in the same manner, women of different shapes and colours. Wonder Woman was a really good example of that, I think. Women who are powerful and in a group of powerful women who are never split into their individual body parts or viewed in a way that makes powerlessness sexy. Like Beyonce dancing at a sleepover in her socks, or Lorde dancing however it feels good to her. I really love Jenny Slate, and I think it's partly because her characters that she plays are funny and messy and disgusting and attractive, and just these real full women, which I don't think you see that often. I don't think only women can create something like that, but I think you need to have multiple viewpoints and visions behind the camera, whether that's in writing or directing, to achieve it. I don't want to imply that I think the female gaze is sexless, but I do think that we're so used to seeing images that are so particularly one brand of aggressive, often quite violent and harsh sexuality, that these softer images can seem jarring at first in their rejection of that very specific macho brand of sexy. And I love seeing media like this that shows that we don't need that mould to create something that people will love and want to watch. Like, I have watched that video a lot of times. A term like the female gaze is difficult because obviously there's not one way of having an outlook or a vision as a woman or a man. But I do think the variety you get when you have a multiplicity of voices behind a project shows how much we miss when you let one narrative dominate. But this is a message of hope. I believe we can have more of the puppy photo shoots that we deserve. I believe in us. Let's do this, guys. Let me know what you think and if you've seen charli XCX's new video, because I'm all about it. And I will see you guys again soon.